Well, hello everybody. I'm going to do the bonus quiz for 7.2, but before I do that, I wanted to dial back into the scaffolding here that we introduced early in our course. That is the PERMDOS. Remember, it was PEMDOS, and I changed it to PERMDOS because it better suits our needs. At the bottom, we have paired inverse operations, addition and subtraction, and then multiplication and division. It made no sense simply to have a lonely e up here, that there was an inverse operation to exponentiation, and it was roots. And that's precisely where we find ourselves now in chapter 7. I wanted to just take a second here to sort of tweak your mind and just suggest that for an instant, I want to draw a fraction bar right here, where I have exponents on top and roots on the bottom. And I want you to carry that into the 7.2 bonus quiz here. So let me bring that up, and let me show you the idea that I just introduced. So what we have here is fractional exponents. That's what's new in chapter 7. And I'm going to suggest that we have exponents over roots, and that you've always known the numerator part. That is, if I was to give you something like 3 squared, you'd have no trouble saying that that's 3 times 3 or 9. And if I was to write that 2 as a fraction, which I could do like this, you'd still say it's 9 and you'd be correct. In other words, what I'm suggesting to you is you've always understood the numerator part as being the exponent. What's new here is this denominator, and that is the index on the radical. And if that's all you know, that's almost enough to get you far along in chapter 7, because this becomes the primary skill. They're asking us to write an equivalent expression using radical notation. They're asking us to go from a to the 2/5 to radical notation, and bouncing back and forth between these two is the primary skill. Now, you already know the numerator part. That is just going to be a squared, and what I've suggested to you, the denominator is the index on the radical, and so here is our answer right here. And what's really going on here is a sense of a battle between exponents and roots, and who's going to win. And I'm going to post something along with this video that will take you along that path and expand your knowledge and lead you towards mastery. So this is the answer we want to put into the machine. An index of 5, and inside there we want a, and we want it to be squared. So that's the answer there. And let's get on to the next problem. And okay, I wanted to show you another thing. I mean, the course is starting to come full circle now. And now what we're looking at here is actually one of the 3 laws of exponents. When your bases are the same, when you're multiplying, you add exponents. When the bases are the same, in this case x, and you're dividing, you subtract exponents. And then there was a third law when you had powers to powers and you multiplied. So there's 3 cases when you add, subtract, and multiply. And this is a case where the bases are the same. There's the base, it's 6, and we want to subtract this 5/12 from this 3/12. And so that's what we're going to do. We have 5/12, and we're going to subtract 3/12. And so really what we have here is an arithmetic problem. And since we already have common denominators, we're free to follow the arithmetic on top. And so we're going to have simply 6 over 5 minus 3 is 2/12. And of course we always simplify fractions, and so we're going to get 1/6. And that's the answer we'll put into our machine. Let's make sure of that. Type exponential notation with rational exponents. Rational exponents meaning fractional exponents. And so indeed we want to put in 6 to the 1/6. So in this quiz there were various problems asking you to utilize 3 laws of exponents with fractional exponents. And it's no big deal. It's what you've always been doing, except now we have fractions. So 6 to the 1/6 power, 6, and I want an exponent, and I want that exponent to be a fraction, and I want 1 up there, and I want 6 down there, and that should do it. Let's submit. I hope that helps. See you down the road.